Well guys, I'm back in my favourite bit of woodland again, just for a turn around, take the little doggy for a walk. The lake is really calm today. This is one end of the lake and you can see the lovely colours of autumn. In there are fish. People that fish here catch the fish and then put them back again. I won't fish the lake because, as you know guys, I'm a hook it and cook it kind of chap. Anyway, we're going to go for a little wander. Out there somewhere is a little doggy. I don't know where he's gone. I can just see him in the distance. Gets camouflaged with all this leaf litter. Well, some fungi here. I'm not sure what sort of fungi. I know they're not a oyster, so I'm not going to pick them. Maybe have a look when I get home, see if I can identify them. We're growing on I think this is a piece of old hay chestnut. Beautiful to see on this very, very late autumn day, early winter day. As you can just see through this roadie, you can see a great scar on the side of this oak. As I come down, whoops, amazing. Best be careful. There we go, and there's the branch. It's huge, at least a ton, probably a couple of ton there. Imagine that falling on your head. We've had some pretty severe winds over the last few months, and I think that's a result of it. Nice and nice. So there we go. It's amazing what the wind can do and how it changes the landscape. You know, you walk through the woods one day and you see a nice tree standing. Next day it's gone. There we go. Well, this is another tree that shed its branches a couple of years back, and I see people have been collecting firewood because that gap there was full of the oak that fell off the tree, and it is virtually empty now and there's fresh cut marks, so I think people have been in here collecting firewood. I think it's a bit wrong in some respects, but you know, it's people are scavenging and it's free wood, I suppose, but it denies the other critters a place to live. Anyway, as you can see, it's still lovely around here. Nice, some nice colours. Look at that, it's beautiful, isn't it? And of course the hound. Deep beneath this leaf litter is mycelium. September and October, when I was coming through here, I saw a lot of amanitas, brittle gills, one or two seps, and way back up through there, chanterelles. Now the fungi have gone over, and the mycelium, the body of the fungi, is gently waiting for the next year to fruit. It's quite amazing, the whole circle of life, don't you think? I mean, I'm looking here, there's evergreens, there's rhododendrons, and there's deciduous broadleaf trees at coppice. A lot of this is overstood coppice through here. At one time it was worked, and it was there to make fence palings, tools, tool handles, and all sorts, hurdles. But now it's just woodland that we can enjoy, and it's wonderful. It really is absolutely glorious coming through here. It's a rather dark day. Actually, you don't even say it's dark, it's actually brighter than it has been the last couple of days. Last few days it's been so dark. It's the early onset of winter. So it's quite mild. It does get a bit chilly at night, but I'm still wearing shorts, so it can't be that cold. Well, hi guys, ground's quite dry, so I've stretched out on there today. I haven't put the hammock up. Brew in hand. dear. So it's been quite a good week, really. That's partly because I'm not in work this week. I do enjoy my job, but it's nice to get a break from it once in a while. And it's on the run up to Christmas, and it gets a bit too intense. You know, they expect a lot out of us with only a little amount of staff. It can be a bit frustrating at times. Though I try and leave all that at work. I leave all the frustration and all the hassle at work. Don't bring work home with you. Or I try not to anyway. But I do bring the bread home. I am hoping to do a little bannock video. I shan't cook the bannock in the woods. I shall mix it up at home and go through the methods of making it and cook it on the stove. Just got to imagine that the gas stove at home is a Coleman stove or whatever. There's so many ways of cooking bannock anyway. And there's as many recipes as there are people, I think. It's not a bad staple. You can take it out dry, mix it up. My method of making bannock is 3 flours, 2 milk powder, 4 finger pinch of baking powder. Even if it's self-raising flour, still gives it a bit more oomph out in the woods. Water to dough up, and then from there on you can add your ingredients, whether it's a sweet one, you know, you can add a bit of sugar, raisins, or you can have add a bit of salami, sun-dried tomatoes, a bit of oil, make it more sort of a pizzeria type thing. The opportunities are endless, but I will go through this. Saw something about preppers, you know, and I mean, I'm always in two minds about this prepping thing. Often we see, if you look on the media, you see the extreme end of prepping, you know, the complete weirdos, you know, the guys that will make it media friendly. But really prepping is all up in here a lot of the time, you know. You can lay down loads of stuff, but you might not survive. In fact, you've only got to look what happened in Southeast Asia with the Haiyan tornado, cyclone. It's a state of mind a lot of the time. Look at the guys that crashed. Look at the rugby team that crashed out in the high Andes all those years ago. A lot of preparation and a lot of prepping is a state of mind. You could be the world's most knowledgeable person on it, but when push comes to shove, you may fail. It's often it's people that don't seem prepared seem to get by. Of course, there were one or two comments about, you know, like America has guns. You don't need a gun to be a prepper. As I say, you know, it could be just laying down extra tins of food in the back of your cupboard just in case there's a power outage. It's not to do with end of the world scenarios. It's actually being ready and being ready for if there's a power outage or something happens. We expect snow. The trouble is, when the Brits get snow, we panic. They're already panicking about snow, and it's not even shown itself yet. And you go to places like Alaska and that, they get snow right round to next April. Strange. At the moment, I'm reading an instalment of Dick Pronecki's journal. So I've read Alone in the Wilderness, which is the first book, and then they've just done another book, more, I think it's more Alone in the Wilderness or something like that, and it's further writings from his journals. An amazing guy. You know, he goes out there and he lived out there for 30 years, right up until his 80s. And he was just an amazing guy. And it's looking at that. The forthcoming year, I hope to be doing a lot more walking. Just want to get out a bit more. For the past while, I've just been coming to these local woods, wandering around, seeing what there is. But I want to get out a bit more. There's behind me, way behind me, a couple of miles away, there's a RSPB reserve and lots of walks around there. I want to get down to the coast a bit more, do a bit more coastal foraging. And I just genuinely want to get out and about a lot more next year. But it's been a bit of a crappy year. The only upside of this year was the fact that I got married. Other than that, it wasn't a particularly brilliant year family-wise. But guys who watch regularly will understand that. Patrick put up something on YouTube about, not YouTube, but Facebook about whether to get a Tatonka or a Trangia spirit burner. Personally, Patrick, I'll go and get the whole cook kit, the whole Trangia setup. It will last you a lifetime. And you can even get it in anodised aluminium now. And I would heartily suggest getting that. You won't go far wrong with that. Best thing to do in the winter is to pop the actual burner in your pocket so it keeps warm. You can fill it up. I use this most times when I come out, which is the Trangia Triangle. There are other makes you can get, and it works very well. It's not very good for holding a Crusader cup, but I use the this little 1 litre Trangia kettle as well. There we go. It's a great bit of kit. I can't fault it. This is great for just if you just want to have a quick brew up, and if you've got a small billy can. I was looking at a GSI, excuse me, a GSI cook set yesterday. Not that I was going to buy it, I was just having a look at it, and it could probably fit on a triangle, so you'd have a little billy can as well, but that's by the by. So I'm hoping to do a few more videos as pertaining fishing, as I've mentioned in the past. I say of late, I've not felt like doing much. My feet have been playing up, and I found the perfect thing for my feet. Ayacucho booties, which are I've got them in Cotswolds, and they're Finchulate camp boots. Bit like tent mules. They're quite soft and they're great for wearing in bed and probably wearing in the sleeping bag as well. Keep my feet well toasty. As I say, I've been having a lot of trouble with my feet lately, and I know the reason why, and I'm working on that. I want to try and do a few more practical videos as well. Things keep coming into mind, what I want to do. It's just getting around to doing it and preparing myself. As I say, I want to do a few more cooking videos, cooking indoors as well as outdoors. You show the basics indoors, like making a bannock, and then you come out and cook it outside. There's so many ways of cooking bannock. At the moment, everything's so damp, it's pointless trying to cook over an open fire. And you've got to be really prepared for it, and most of the wood around here is quite damp at the moment. I tried having an open fire last week and it was a bugger to get it going. Other than that, there's not a lot to say as far as the bushcraft side of life goes. Also, I've been watching a lot of Morse Kahansky's book videos, and they're quite good, really enjoyable. Love his style of presentation. And I know some of you guys have met him in real life, and it would be a pleasure to meet him. Quite a humble guy. Apparently his cooking's a bit off, from what I can gather. But other than that, it's been a pretty good week. Remember, bushcraft isn't always about being out in the woods. I've been thinking a lot about this lately. You know, people, you know, say, for a lot of people, bushcraft is a kit fetish job. You know, if you can't do it, you just buy a bit more kit. To me, it's trying to use as little kit as possible and producing your own. And also, you know, it's like, you know, you can go and buy sea fishing kit already made up, or you make your own up. A lot of it's to do, you know, with self-reliance, I suppose. And there's also the little things, you know, like carving and that. I'm trying to get back into carving. Some days I'll get home, as I've mentioned in the past, I'm just knackered. You know, you get home from work and you feel bleh. And so it's a case of just finding the time to do it. There's so much to do, and there's so much. You know, I want to do a bit more tracking, obviously a bit more photography. It'd be great. I mean, the guys that subscribe to my two Facebook groups, Bushcraft and Wild Food Project, I would like to see more, particularly on the wild food side of it. I'm trying to expand it so that, again, I'll come back to the Bannock thing. You know, you make the Bannock mix up, but you can gather wild food from out here. There was a thing about, I think it's Patrick, we was talking about the whole prepping thing about wild edibles, and someone say, you know, like, oh, you go to Australia because there's live with the Aboriginals because there's a whole load of wild edibles. There is in this country, but it's seasonal. I mean, at the moment, all you would get is sweet chestnuts that are on the ground, and they're coming to the end now. They're slowly bedding into the ground. And game, deer if you're lucky, rabbits, hares and pigeons. But you've got to trap them. And doing trap lines is very difficult in this country, partly because it's not seemly, it's not a done thing, and it's illegal. Also, you have to put an awful lot of traps down just to catch one bunny. And one snare does not, if you're very, very lucky, it will catch you a bunny, but you need a minimum of 30 snares to put down to catch rabbit. Also, it's just, again, it's catching, you know, you got to put an awful lot of traps down just to catch yourself something to eat. And on that note, I'm going to bid you all adieu. I'm going to finish my tea. I'm going to take a wander home. I've got a nice bowl of soup waiting. I was up very early this morning, so I made a celery and garlic soup. It tastes quite nice. I put a big knob of butter in it as well when I was liquidising it, and it really made it rich, and it should be very, very good. So guys, keep the faith, and may your feet never tire. Hopefully I don't get cold either. Bye bye.